understood, on the ride on our rivals. They can't stop us now, but go ahead and try though. All they gonna feel is the pain inside. Ho, foes get land, but
This your boy, Gangster F Gucci. I'm gonna stay on the subject, and we're gonna speak on these upstaters, and on the subject that these dudes are overwhelmingly fucking up norteños in Northern California, and they're as deep as the homeboys, and all that kind of shit that is basically a bunch of propaganda, fake news. I'm gonna make this crystal clear. I'm gonna be concise and straight to the point. And at the same time, I'm gonna break down exactly where these vatos stand, and what they could and can't do in Sanjo. I mean, anybody could do whatever they fucking want to do, but not without consequences, repercussions. You know what I'm saying? So before I do jump into all this shit, I want you to know that this ain't to promote any kind of gang shit. This ain't to incite any type of shit. This ain't to glorify the lifestyle. This is just to clarify and clear up some misinformation that's being put out there by these other podcasters. I feel this is like on my podcast channel, and this is my motherfucking city, that I'm going to speak on it and clear some shit up so that people have a real understanding. Now, seeing is believing, you know what I'm saying? And I, action speaks louder than words. So, I'm not just going to talk and say shit. I'm going to show you. Now, when you watch this video, I want you to really pay attention. Look at the Raflas. Look at the people that are in the Raflas and tell me if you see any upstaters moving around like it ain't shit. Look at these fucking corners. Look at these fucking piles of people, these groups. Do you see any Southsiders, upstaters, hella deep in any of these areas? You know what I'm saying? And this section right here is a new section for cruising. This is Cinco de Mayo. But these dudes are not out there on Cinco de Mayo. They're not out there on September 16th. They're not at the fucking fairgrounds. They're not at fucking regular cruising. Because like I said, they've lifted the ban as far as no cruising in Sanjo. So cruising right here is happening Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. They're not out here. If they are out here, it's only because they're coming looking for the beef and they're dressed up, with their gangbang shit. Or if they are out here, they're wearing out some shark shit, trying to look casual as fuck, hoping that no one don't ID them. Besides that, you're not going to see that in Sanjo. It ain't going to happen. So, and I know that if these vatos was deep, like some of these over-exaggerating ass podcasters are saying, they would be out here, moving around. You know what I'm saying? To come out, Sanjo is so fucking deep with norteños money, it's like committing suicide. To come out there and move around and act like it ain't, like the homeboys ain't shit. Now, I'm not saying that all the homeboys are savages and down as fuck. I'm pretty, I know for a fact that these dudes chase fools around. They done got homeboys. They done killed homeboys. You know what I'm saying? And all that shit. So I'm not downplaying who they are and what they're about. All I'm saying is that during cruising time money, the fairgrounds, during the fair, fucking car shows, which we're going to get to, in a minute, you can't move around like that. They can't move around like that. You know what I'm saying? Now understand that the SURenoS have been here since 1982, and even before that. But as far as established hoods, let's say 1982, and we're in 2023. That's 4 decades. That's 40 years, 41 years that they've been established here in Sanjo. Now, you would think after that long that they would be able to move around anywhere they want, but that's not the case, money. A Sureño can't get a job in an open area, like at, let's just say, the mall, where everybody can see you, because either a homeboy's going to take off on you, or he's going to let other homeboys know that you work there, and then they're going to find a way to get your ass. You know what I'm saying? So you're not going to be able to stay there working long, and you're not going to leave on your own 2 feet when, you know what I'm saying, it's time to check out. You know what I'm saying? Because when it's time to check out, you might have to really check out. You know what I mean? And that's how it is. So, like I said, when it comes to Sanjo money, cruising, and just the activities all the way around, any activities, Southsiders, upstaters are not welcomed. To say the least. You know what I'm saying? And if they do show up, there's going to be pleito. It's just simple as that. No one's going to accept them, and they can expect to be respected because motherfuckers are going to attack. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, money. This is something that's happening now, but if you go back to the mid-90s when these dudes were actually pretty big and they had numbers, because right now the norteños overwhelmingly outnumber these dudes. I'm talking about thousands to hundreds. The Sureños right now, between all their neighborhoods, they probably have around 250, maybe 300 heads. Norteños are in the thousands. You know, I'm talking about 3,000 to 5,000 heads. So, and then when it comes to barrios, there's probably like 5 active Sureño neighborhoods comparing to 50 active Norteño neighborhoods. So, like I said, man, numbers don't lie and footage don't lie. You know what I'm saying? So I want you to see for yourself. You know what I'm saying? And that way you can know that some of these channels you're gonna watch, they're gonna say stuff and they're gonna make it sound good just for, you know what I'm saying, likes and views and just to make it look like they know something. But the reality of it is that in Sanjo, it's a Norteño city all the way around. Now, that's not to say that there ain't cities in Northern California that are overwhelmingly, you know, dominated by Sureño gangs, because you got cities like Concord, you know what I'm saying, that has a lot of Sureño neighborhoods. You got Richmond, which, like I said, Fadio Frontera Locos came from Sanjo and then went to Richmond and established themselves there. You got Half Moon Bay. There's Sureños all over Half Moon Bay. You got Santa Cruz, the flats, and they you know, they run around all right there by the beach boardwalk. You know what I'm saying? So they're there, money. And then you also got cities that A-Town, which I remember Atwater being a Sureño city back in fucking 95. You know what I'm saying? So these vatos got generations of being in some of these fucking towns, some of these cities, money, you know what I'm saying, that they dominate. You know what I'm saying? And they're fucking established there. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that they're not established in Sanjo. It's just that Sanjo's a big city. It's over 1 million people. You know what I'm saying? And because, you know, for generations, you know, you have these Norteño barrios. So it's hard to try to take over something that is, like I said, drastically, overwhelmingly already set up by, you know, the dudes in red. The red team, baby. They're the deep ones. They run the shit. And Sanjo's always going to be like that. It's as simple as that, because Sanjo survived the invasion in the 90s when these dudes were coming, when they were deep as fuck, when shit was fucking crazy. You know what I'm saying? When everybody was getting off. You know what I'm saying? When motherfuckers were getting whacked out, people were going to jail for life. All that type of shit on both sides. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, man, I don't say any of this to be disrespectful to the vatos from upstaters and shit. You know what I'm saying? But I also don't want, I would hate to know that someone came up here thinking that they could just roll around and nothing was going to happen to them. You know what I mean? And when it comes to the car shows, same shit. It's the same motherfucking shit, money. These car shows, for as far as back as I can remember, when it comes to street low, overwhelmingly, Evergreen, the fairgrounds, Norteños have always been the fucking deepest. Period. You know what I'm saying? And it's not even the deepest. It's the fact that you will not catch a Sureño here at the car show. Not at street low. Street low is nothing but Norteños. Rather than Norteños, affiliates, sympathizers, or familia of Norteños, that's all you're going to see here at these car shows, you know, including some ass. You know what I mean? But besides that, you know, that's all you're going to see, money, and nice ronflas. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. Just gangster motherfuckers, a bunch of ass, and some nice ass fucking old school cars, money. You know what I'm saying? But you're not going to see no Southsiders, no upstaters. It's just the way it is. And that's how it's always been. Now, don't get me wrong. Like I said before, has been Sureño gangs like SSP and Clanton who have attempted to try to come to some of these, you know, activities, and either they kicked it off or somebody else kicked it off. So, like I said, all this shit trying to show up to some of these things, it all comes with, you know, repercussions, consequences, or beef. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say he's always going to get the best of what, because they have gotten the best of the homies. You know what I'm saying? And the homies have been, you know what I'm saying, in situations where, you know, they had the Sureños, the upstairs have the upper hand. But nevertheless, like I said, at the end of the day, no one's deeper than the Norteños. You know what I'm saying? In Sanjo. Not the Crips. You know what I mean? We don't hardly have no bloods here. You know what I'm saying? And the Sureños, they like I said, they're outnumbered. You know, dramatically, drastically, just it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? And that ain't changed at all. And like I said, at one point, when these vatos were hella deep in the early 2000s, they had, you know, over 1,000 Sureños here. But because of all the vatos that went to the Pinta, a lot of dudes that got deported, dudes that just moved away, you know, dudes that changed their life, all that type of shit, these vatos numbers have dropped drastically, money. And like I said, and then with them never making the American Meat Part 2, that like I said, that because American Meat Part 1 played a big part in these dudes tripling in their numbers. And like I said before, these fools got generations here too. The first generation was mostly paisas. Second generation was more mixed. Third generation is these vatos that are born and raised here in Northern California that bang Southern gangs. And when people talk about Southern gangs, like they don't understand why Southern gangs are here and it doesn't make sense to them, then you don't know about this gangbang shit. You know what I'm saying? Gangbanging is all about territory. It's all about, power. It's all about, taking over shit. It's all about, territory is money. The more territory you got, the bigger presence you have, no matter where the fuck it's at. You know what I'm saying? So it makes perfect sense why these dudes from down south, as far as down south gangs, or why these dudes created or planted seeds up here. It makes a lot of sense if you know what's happening. You know what I mean? So, like I said, Street Low Car Show, I can go all the way back. You know what I'm saying? Always dominated by norteños. This is a norteño function. All these functions are norteño functions. Nothing else. And don't get me wrong, you have cripos that roll up and SOS cats, but it ain't never been no funk like that. Here and there might be a little bit bullshit, but at the end of the day, norteños and the Crips and all them, there is no funk. Not like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's here and there. There's funk, but it's not something that's been for generations. Nothing like that at all. And when it comes to Sanjo, like I said, money, people come from everywhere and enjoy these functions, but not upstaters, not Southsiders. During Cinco de Mayo, September 16th, when we were all downtown, these dudes, they had a function that would happen at the fairgrounds, and there'd be like bandas over there, and dudes from other cities like Concord and Richmond and Half Moon Bay and all these places, they would come down, get a hold of one of these, vadios they were cool with, that they were locked up with somebody, and they'll post up with them at these functions at the fairgrounds. But these dudes weren't allowed to be where all the norteños were at. And if they even tried to show up, like I said, there was going to be pleito, there was going to be bloodshed. You know what I'm saying? And, people were going to go, not home, but, to the hospital, if not worse. So that's just the way it's always been in Sanjo. You know what I mean? And like I said, I don't say any of this to disrespect people, on the other side, the other team, money, upstaters, money. I don't say this for that. I'm just, breaking down reality. You know what I'm saying? Because the reality of it, like I said, is that norteños dominate Sanjo. This is a norteño city, money. This ain't, like I said, this ain't Richmond, where, they have a longevity of being there. And, Concord, I remember back, I was locked up with homies in 97 that were from Concord, and they were Sureños back then over there. You know what I'm saying? And so it's popping. It is popping. There is upstaters up north, and there is some of these cities that are overwhelmingly ran by upstaters that are mostly Sureños there, and they occupy some of these towns and cities. But Sanjo ain't one of them. You know what I mean? And like I said, although these vatos have been here for 4 generations, they still haven't established themselves to a point where they can just be involved in all these type of functions. Even with what's going on in prison right now, that shit don't pertain to the streets. So there's still beef out here. Motherfuckers are still moving around. Motherfuckers are still gangbanging on each other. It's as simple as that. So like I said, I want you to see for yourself. If you see all kinds of fucking Sureños walking around, because like I said, all you see is red. All you see is norteños. So as far as over exaggerating, that Sureños are out here, smashing and taking over, Northern California and all that kind of shit. And some dudes on TikTok driving around like he's hella tough. Hey, there's places that people know you can move around. You can move around and get away right there because there's nobody over there. But someone does see you and you end up in the wrong fucking place. Like I said, there's consequences and repercussions to all that shit. And like I said, I don't say this to disrespect these dudes. I want motherfuckers to know exactly what's going on in my city and how it is. Now, Street Low Car Show, money, like I said, evergreen, the fairgrounds, it's just like it's always been, overwhelmingly a norteño thing. But when it comes to Lowrider Car Show that we used to go to over there at the Cow Palace in Frisco, it was way different because back then Dump Records was around and they would bring Little Rob and other dudes with them to perform when we went up there to the concerts. You know what I'm saying? And it'd be all dudes from the South. But there'd be also a lot of car clubs from the South, and they'd bring all their homeboys. And because there was already beef with the upstaters before they were called upstaters, it was on site with those vatos too, because we didn't care who the fuck was from where. It didn't matter if you were from Sanjo, Orange County. It didn't matter. You know, you were still a Southsider, and they were still on site. It was still a target, and we smashed. And sometimes they smashed. You know what I'm saying? But it was always beef at these lowrider car shows because, like I said, back then, lowrider clubs from down south would come too. So they was pleito. You know what I'm saying? So that was a little bit more different than these street low ones. Because street low, there ain't no car clubs from down south. There's all just Norteño car clubs, or, you know what I mean, car clubs from up north that don't fuck around. You know. And with that said, like I said, I'm not trying to disrespect nobody. I hope that no one takes a disrespect, and just know that, like I said, it's all for face value, man. This is real life shit. This is, you know, this ain't no fake shit. This ain't something that I'm just telling you because I just feel like saying something. You know what I mean? This is real life. This is real life and direct. This is correct. You know what I'm saying? This is real shit, crystal clear. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, this is what I'm trying to get at you about and let you know before you end up coming up here and thinking that you could just move around the Sanjo. You know what I'm saying? That if you do come up here, you know, get at your channel, get at your people up here to make sure that you're aware of where you could and can't go, because you might not make it back home. Like I said, everything I say, money is straight face value shit. You know what I'm saying? So you can go with there, you can come and find out. You know what I'm saying? I'm out.